Hello all, Dr. Hanley-Tejeda here, and in the following video, I'm just going to be going over the syllabus, walking through the syllabus for our COM 101 course, Oral Communication, otherwise known as Public Speaking. So up at the top of the syllabus, you'll notice the course information, or this is of course our class, COM 101 Oral Communication, and instructor info about me, where you can find me. Usually I'd be in my office, or this is my office at the North Las Vegas campus. But since we're online because of the pandemic, yeah, I won't really be there. But you could call my phone, call the office phone, and I believe it will trigger a message to my email. But of course, the best way to reach me these days is through email. And you'll notice that it's just my name with the dot after David, David.Hanley-Tejeda. And there actually is no hyphen in my name, sorry, in my email. If you were to accidentally put the hyphen in there, it should still come to me. So I'll do my best to respond to emails within 24 hours, especially during the week, and then allow for more time during the weekends. So my office hours, I actually just changed this or fixed it. So it's actually not, Canvas chat, it's actually under conferences, and it's from Tuesday to Thursday, 11 to noon, and it's available to the entire class. Now, these office hours are totally optional, just like my physical office hours when I would be on campus. It's just a couple hours that I'm available if you want to talk to me directly about anything. Basically, I just log in and I'm available for you to ask questions about anything. So yeah, totally optional. And I have been sending out the invitation to the whole class, and so totally not required. You would just respond to the email if you wanted to ask me anything or talk about anything. So we have a big section of a big sort of super section of the class because it's 5 sections all rolled into one, and so that's what we're doing with Canvas. So pretty interesting that we have a lot of students so we can all respond to each other and things like that. This is the catalog description, the theory and practice in spoken communication, including prepared and extemporaneous speaking experience. So yes, so the idea that this course is based on is that you're actually going to be practicing oral communication, public speaking. The type of delivery we will be doing in this course is called extemporaneous, which is kind of a funny word. And I'll have more to say about that as we go throughout the semester. But basically what it means is it's practiced and prepared speaking from brief notes. It's not reading, which you don't want to do for your speeches. In fact, you risk failing if you just read a manuscript or just read your notes. And it's not impromptu, meaning it's not just something you come up with on the spot, right? But it's practiced and prepared from brief notes and speaking from an outline rather than reading. And that is really the goal of the class. We will talk about some theory about that, some concepts related to how to do that, and some ways to best prepare to make your speeches. Course description. This course introduces students to knowledge and practices of good oral communication. Students will learn theories and models of communication as well as strategies of effective, ethical, and empathetic public speaking. So that's kind of a lot of words. But the idea here is that you're going to learn how to give an effective speech. What's an effective speech? An effective speech is one where you give the speech and you're able to craft it in a way that allows you to meet your goals, right? And so that's what we'll be looking at. How you can craft a speech that's ethical, so avoiding things like plagiarism and things like that. Being empathetic is also important in this day and age. And so crafting a speech that's effective, ethical, and empathetic. So your appropriate emotions and appropriate use of language that allows you to craft a speech that can reach your goals. Students will apply these concepts in systematic experiential learning opportunities, 3 graded speeches, textbook reading exams, and quizzes. Yes. So the 3 graded speeches are a lot of what the class is about, right? Is this process of actually making a speech, brainstorming topics that interest you, and then crafting a speech that fits with the directions, right? Of course, there's also readings each week of our textbook and exams, especially final exam and quizzes. Okay, course rationale. So this is kind of a mouthful as well, but there's a lot about how the world has become more diverse, more interconnected, and the ability to communicate in this very diverse, increasingly complex sort of world is really important to have these tools to address different audiences and to craft a message to an audience has become a very important skill. So this course has two interrelated goals. First, the course will introduce you to basic concepts, vocabularies, theories, and processes relevant to understanding oral communication in a variety of public and cultural contexts. So basically, a lot of the theories behind, what is good public speaking, what is effective public speaking. And then you'll learn the theory and principles of effective public speaking and practice these principles by performing and analyzing speeches. Yes, absolutely. So the actually giving the speeches is a way that you'll learn, and then of course analyzing speeches is a way that you'll learn. From some of our various discussion boards to actually responding to each other's speeches. So you're going to post your speeches and comment on fellow students' performances. So that's also part of the class. Second, this course introduces students to the verbal, nonverbal, and organizational skills necessary for giving effective public presentations. This will enhance your communication skills by providing systematic opportunities to practice clear, critical, and ethical oral communication. Yes, absolutely. So you'll learn about nonverbal behavior, you'll learn about how to be clear when you communicate, how to organize a speech, and we will cover all of that. Again, 3 speeches, right, or the big sort of assignments that you'll be working on. I'll mostly be posting video lectures, and then of course we'll be doing readings and things like that. This is actually left in there from the in-class, in-person syllabus. Together, we will foster and maintain an interactive, open, and supportive classroom environment that promotes insight into self, others, critical thinking, intellectual growth, and communicative competence. Basically, that we're going to be open and interactive to each other, so we have a good learning environment. After successful completion of the class, you should know the fundamentals of speech making and delivery, as well as tools to help you effectively listen to and evaluate oral messages. Yeah, that's another component, just being able to evaluate other people's speeches, right? These skills will aid in your success in other courses that require oral presentation, workplace situations that call for public or small group speaking, and even in your personal life where you may be called upon from time to mark an occasion by giving acceptance speeches, toasts, eulogies, or impromptu pep talks. Yeah, definitely. The last speech is very real world, and it's a special occasion speech, and you could make a toast speech or a eulogy for, any sort of moment in life that's important, and it's definitely a speech that you will give. You'll definitely be called on to mark some occasion by giving a speech. Okay, so communication with me. There are different ways to do that. Of course, common course questions. You can find this in the discussion section of your online course. All students see this discussion. Ask any questions about the course that are not personal. Please do not post personal issues here. Yeah, so if you have a question about, where to post something, where you can find something, how to do something, go ahead and ask it in common course questions. And if anyone knows the answer, you could go ahead and, put down the answer, or if someone needs, help with how to do something, and you want to ask your fellow students, by all means, you could ask your fellow students. And then also assignment comments. So I'll be grading your assignments, and then I'll also be putting comments on there, especially like for topics and how you're going to organize your speech. So get in the habit of checking the comments section when you turn something in. And then, of course, Canvas email. You can always shoot me an email directly through Canvas. And, anything personal, of course, you would shoot directly through to me. Absolutely. And especially, maybe something wasn't, you're still kind of confused about something. By all means, you can definitely ask me directly. Materials for the class, we're going to be using the Koopman and Lowell public speaking book. Now, as long as you have access to the text of the book, it could be digital, it could be hard copy, it could be loose leaf. You just want to have you just want to have access to the text of the book. The other supplemental materials are totally optional in my course. So the Cengage materials, the the access to the speeches and the outlines that you can get, they're helpful by all means. And so if you do buy that material, you should take advantage of it. But what you really need in my course, and all that's required, is access to the actual text chapters. So being able to read the book, and this will allow you to take the quizzes in my course, which are based heavily on the book. So that's kind of the way that I know that you're reading the book, is through the quizzes and the final exam. Information about the computer that you'll need. Yeah, definitely with an online course, you can't really do it all by your phone, right? So you need to have access to some sort of computer that can allow you to take the quizzes, to turn things in. And definitely, you can record your speeches by phone. I think that's the common way to do it. And then, upload them to YouTube. But beyond that, you definitely do need a reliable computer. I just decided to remove the Respondus Lockdown browser for the quizzes. It just seems like it's become kind of a difficult thing, especially since it seems to be incompatible with Chromebooks. So I'm going ahead and I'm suspending that as a requirement for quizzes 2 through 10. So no longer required. If you already downloaded it, you could go ahead and delete it, I think, for the quizzes. Video recording equipment, you want to make sure that you can upload video to YouTube and then embed that link into Canvas. Any smartphone should be able to record in HD and should be suitable for speech recording. So definitely record on your phone and then upload it to YouTube. These are objectives for learning. A lot of education is going towards student learning objectives, and you should be able to do these 6 things, or we'll accomplish these 6 things during the semester. Examine theoretical perspectives of oral communication, so different theories about public speaking. Be able to design an effective speech, topic, purpose, so kind of looking at the situation and saying, okay, how can I craft a speech that fits this situation? How to prepare an effective speech, we'll talk a lot about preparation. Apply the principles of effective delivery to communicate the prepared speech. Yeah, definitely be talking about delivery. It's chapter 12, and I believe we come to it in the 3rd week. So we actually jump right into delivery, and definitely a lot of public speaking is delivery based. So we'll be talking a lot about delivery. Recognize the principles of effective listening. We'll cover that very briefly, but we do cover it, particularly in terms of delivery, like what message are you most likely to remember and grab your attention. Identify principles of effective presentational skills. Yes, definitely, especially like the ability to evaluate others, right? Like your classmates' speeches or YouTube speeches or political speeches, right? To look at a speech and go like, that person's lying, right? Or that person's making an argument, but I don't agree with it, and I'll tell you why, right? So your ability to do that is also part of the course. Here's just a brief content outline. So kind of the things we'll cover. We'll cover the overview of public speaking, dealing with communication apprehension, definitely like, getting nervous is totally natural, and how can we deal with this kind of apprehension or, anxiety about public speaking, which we all sort of have. We'll talk about preparing and writing speeches, looking at the audience, right? How you communicate to an audience of kindergartners, right, is going to be different than how you communicate to an audience of college age people, right? Selecting a topic and purpose, yeah, picking a topic that's going to fit your goals and what is your purpose with the speech. To gather materials, right? How do we do research? How do we cite these materials, right? How do we use them? How can we organize a speech? Introductions and conclusions, definitely yes. how to begin a speech and how to end a speech, how to outline and edit a speech, of course, delivery, we're talking a lot about delivery, using language effectively, how to use visual aids, which are mostly, by the way, optional in my course, but they do help. They really do help if you want to use an effective visual aid. We'll talk about speaking to inform, which is your first speech, versus speaking to persuade, which is your second speech, right? And some people get these confused, so we want to talk about how they're different, and we'll cover that. Methods of persuasion, yes, how we could be very persuasive, special occasion speeches, which of course are your third and final speech. Speaking in groups, narrative speeches. Also, yeah, being ethical, right? How can you be an ethical speaker? Avoid plagiarism. How can you come across as credible, right? Are all part of public speaking. Again, you'll deliver 3 speeches. Here's a breakdown of the points here. So introductory video, which you made this week, right? And, you know, this is really credit, no credit. So just make sure you did that. And then the informative speech, the persuasive speech, and the personal occasion. This is a lot of points in here. And the first speech will be an informative speech. It doesn't have to be on a local topic anymore. I've removed that requirement. But you're basically, for the informative speech, you're explaining about a topic in a clear way, right? The goal is to get us to understand something, right? You know, if you want to tell us about Red Rock Canyon, which is of course a local topic, again, it doesn't have to be, but the goal is that you're explaining and sharing information in a clear way. You could tell us how to go rock climbing. You could tell us how to take the bus, right? How to use the bus system in Las Vegas. How to make chocolate chip cookies, right? Like any sort of topic where you're sharing information in a clear way. The second speech is a persuasive speech, and this is concerned with us taking action. So us like motivating your audience to take a particular action, right? So we should all quit our jobs and give out free hugs, right? Or I'll talk more about that, but you're motivating some sort of action. And then speech 3 is a special occasion speech. And this is like a toast, a eulogy, a going away party, a very realistic speech, probably one of the more realistic speeches that you'll actually give in your lifetime. And then speech 1 and speech 2, yes, require an outline, and I'll tell you exactly what I'm looking for with that. There are 10 quizzes, each worth 15 points. 10 discussion boards. Yeah, there's some confusion about that. I do want us to do 10 discussion boards in the 16-week course. And then I'm doing this, this is kind of new, but I do want you to respond to the 3 speeches. For each speech, I want you to post your speech and then comment on 2 others, so you can kind of get some feedback on your speeches from the class. 25 points are speech community participation, meaning, you know, I like to think of this as like don't be a jerk points, you know, so just participating, having good energy, doing all your work, and you should get the 25 out of 25 on that. Final exam is worth 50 points. It is cumulative, covers all of what we've learned. And then the informative speech topic. So I want to know your topics ahead of time so I can kind of check them out. And, you know, so you don't get confused on the difference between an informative speech and a persuasive speech. You're going to submit your topic and kind of how you've organized it about a week before the outline is due. So I can try to give you feedback on that. Or another thing you could do is, as you're formulating your topics and thinking about topics, is reach out to me directly through my office hours. And I'll be like, yeah, that sounds like a good topic. Or, you know, you can't decide on, you know, 2 different topics. And I'll be like, hey, I think this one's the better one, right? You should talk about the local flora and fauna, right, or some whatever it is. But I'll give you advice on what I think is the most important topic. Book check is of course 10 points, and just making sure you have the book uh, for our semester so you can succeed. I think I have you, you're going to post a picture of yourself holding the book, and I know you got the book. Or, you post your online access, that's fine. Student Lingo certificate, about a month or so into the semester, I want you to complete the Student Lingo certificate. These are these modules that are inside Canvas. And I want us all to do actually the plagiarism module. And the plagiarism module, you click on it, you read a lot of information, I think you watch a few videos, and then you take a quiz at the end. And that's the one I want us to do. So these are all the points this semester. So introductory video, formative speech, persuasive speech, special occasion speech, the outlines for each of the first two speeches, quizzes, discussion boards, peer response, final exam, and informative speech, topic and thesis. So it's a breakdown of the points. Then we have grading scale. I think it's pretty basic. You do want to get, into the 93, higher than a 93 to get an A. But this is the good breakdown of my grading scale. And anytime you should be able to get your grade on Canvas. I'll do my best to update things. The 3 speeches are really key and really crucial. So making sure that you prepare for the 3 speeches is really key to your success in the course. Please consider the communication labs. I know now we're virtual, so that's easier said than done. But make sure you put in time to prepare for your speeches. So it used to be a 9 audience requirement for the online course. And I know because of the pandemic, it's hard, or it's, groups. The pandemic, doesn't allow for groups to get together. So how can you have 9 people? So I was thinking 2 people would be fine. Be willing to work with you if that is even difficult. But I was thinking, 2 family members, a friend and a neighbor, maybe outside would also be fine. I know we're not, but 2 people who are social distancing but in the same room or in the same area should be fine. Let me know if you have an issue with that, and I'll work with you. You are allowed speaking notes, but you don't want to write out your notes word for word or your manuscript. That's called a manuscript. You just want to have brief notes, and I'll talk about that more. And then each note card should have no more than 50 words on it. After that, you get marked down for points on your cards. I also want you to make sure to scan your cards for speech 2 and 3 so I can see your note cards. The participation grade, of course, make sure you do everything in a timely manner, and you're supportive in your attitude, the outlines. I'll talk more about exactly what I'm looking for with the outlines for speech 1 and 2. Of course, the 10 quizzes, and then discussion boards. So discussion boards will be due Thursday night, and they have 2 parts. Your initial posting to the question or probe, and then your reply to someone else. Try to have a real quality reply to someone else. Try and, more than just nice job, right? Nice comment. And then the peer critique. So I want you to post 2 comments for each, respond to 2 other speeches, for each speech. And then, of course, turning in the topic for speech 1 and speech 2 in advance, and then the book check, student lingo. So how can you be successful, right? So basically making sure to check Canvas, make sure that you know what's going on with Canvas. I think one of the problems with online classes, and I have this issue too, is it becomes too easy to kind of avoid it. So make sure you're logging in at least once a day to check on our class. Make sure to check the Common Course questions frequently. I'll also do my best to try to answer questions there. Study the syllabus, ask questions, follow directions, study rubrics, write outlines in advance, and practice delivery speech. This is huge, right? So much of public speaking is really actually practicing delivery, practicing. And so getting to that point where you have your outline, you know what you're going to say, and you can begin to really work on your delivery is key for success in the course. So don't wait till the last minute to complete graded work. I know I definitely have that problem too, but definitely staying on top of things. This is about just how we, how the class would be different if you weren't in the class, and so value you being here in the course. So the class values you as a member of a community. Additionally, when we enter into the learning community by registering for the course, we agree to a tacit social contract. That contract ensures that all participants, you and I, will engage one another in an informed and spirited manner and complete all assigned responsibilities on time. Oh, this course is 6 weeks. Typo, right? This course is 16 weeks. Turning in your work by the deadline is vital to your success in the course. It is imperative that you submit videos of each of the 3 speeches with 2 audience members by the due date. Please read the assignment rules in the syllabus. So we'll cover that. So makeup work. You cannot make up graded work after the deadline unless you have an acceptable and documented excuse. So say some sort of medical issue or some sort of military event or something like that. We'd be willing to work with you on that. Acceptable means that I can conclude that you had good reason to miss the deadline. Documented means that you can provide documentation, paperwork of your excuse. If you think you might miss the due date, please talk to me in advance. All work submitted without documented acceptable excuse incurs a penalty of 20%. It is your responsibility to get and complete these assignments by the due date in order to receive full credit. In general, no makeup speeches, exams, or written assignments will be like yes. So definitely, it's really hard to make up a speech, once we've kind of moved on. So make sure to stay on top of that. That being said, I will work with you. I know stuff happens, life happens. So make sure to communicate in advance if you can see a problem coming with that. Of course, the best way to be in touch is through email. Get in the habit of checking your email. I skipped this in that. Quizzes completed on Canvas after the deadline will expire receive 50% reduction. Please note, final exam is cumulative and will be taken on Canvas during the final week of the session. So make sure to stay on top of the quizzes, and that should not be an issue. The internet, along with the ability to record and submit your speeches and the ability to fake, please do not wait until the last minute to do your work. This is just talking about technology, in that, technology is not really an excuse for not getting your work done. So make sure that you start things early, and if there's ever a technological problem, it doesn't set you back that much. This is about plagiarism, so making sure that all your work is your own. So that's why we're all going to do the student lingo module on avoiding plagiarism. And so making sure that you're citing properly. And that it's really key is that when in doubt, make sure that you're citing, right? In speech 2 and 3, I actually want you to vocalize your citation. So you'd be like, according to Bob Jackson in the New York Times, he says that 15% of adjunct professors live in poverty, or something like that, right? So I actually want to hear those citations at least 3 times in speech 2 and speech 3. So you're actually supposed to go and see what other people have said and then cite that out loud. And we'll talk more about that. Note on civil discourse. So this is about just making sure that we have a, respectful, mutually respectful environment. So in college, we often engage in numerous positions and we'll hear many sides of issues. This means engaging in ideas that you may disagree with. Our online classroom community hinges on mutual respect, listening, and civility. Genuine debate and dialogue requires our continued respect of one another. As such, the use of hate speech, sexist, racist, ethnocentric, homophobic, sizist, ableist, and ageist speech in class will not be tolerated. Such speech creates a hostile environment for students and teachers and will not be allowed to continue. So we're in the online setting, so making sure that you're respectful of others. It's okay to disagree. Make sure that you do so in a civil way. Yeah, if you're going to talk about heavy issues or issues that could be disturbing, make sure to you can give the audience a trigger warning, right? So I'm about to talk about some pretty heavy and traumatic stuff. I just want to give a heads up to my audience, right? So you can let us know that. And here's the speech video assignment rules, right? Make sure you have the two people in the audience. This is important. People are human beings. Human beings are those who can understand the topic of your speech, who have agreed to listen to your speech, and who do, in fact, listen to your speech. Since the speech topics are at a college level, this means that the people in the audience should be no younger than 8th grade. So you want to make sure that you pan the audience, you show the two people with your camera, you scan your note cards, and then at the end of the speech, all in one take, you show that they're there again, that they didn't go anywhere, right? And that is key for recording your video. So you take a good shot of the audience that allows me to count the two people. If I cannot clearly see and count the same two people at the beginning and end of your speech, you receive an automatic 0. Also, make sure not to edit your videos. I know, like, more and more it's kind of become really easy to edit your videos. No video editing at all is allowed, right? Next, record each note card. So after you scan the people, record each note card and the words on the cards. You can go to the camera or the camera can go to you. Either way, once you've recorded the note cards, I need to see them in your hands from the moment until your end of the speech. If your note cards leave view of the camera at any time, you are graded as if you don't have note cards. So make sure if you use notes that you are using the notes that you scanned, right? And not trying to, read something off camera, which is bizarre, and you don't want to do that. You should stand during the entirety of your speech. Yes, make sure that you were standing. Don't deliver your speech from your computer from your knees at a coffee table in your living room, right? Make sure that you're standing. You should record your speech from the audience viewpoint. In other words, the camera should be placed in the audience. Yes, someone give the camera to one of your two audience members so I can assess your body language and your movement and things like that. I must be able to see your face and upper body clearly for the entirety of the speech. Key, yes. I must be able to hear you clearly for the entirety of the speech, yes. So definitely try to minimize background noise and those sorts of things. The audience sits quietly and should not interact with you, yes, definitely. Then you want to record in at least 480p. Do not zoom in or out. Do not pan the audience during the speech. So it's really important that I see you giving the speech. And then ensure there are no distractions, absolutely. After you finish the speech, take a good shot of the audience that allows me to see and count the two people again. If I cannot clearly see and count the same two people at the beginning and the end of the speech, you'll receive an automatic 0 for the assignment. Yes, so make sure to pan the audience again. There is absolutely no editing of the video recording allowed. The video you submit should not be paused or edited. It should be one shot of your audience, speech, note cards, and audience. Any editing is an attempt to cheat and will be punished with a failing grade for the course. Yes, so please, no editing. I know it's very in vogue for vloggers to do that, but we are not vlogging. We are doing public speaking. Accessibility, yes, if you need accommodations at all, feel free to reach out to me. I'll happily able to accommodate you, whatever it is you need. Just make sure to get in contact with me, and you can also reach out to the our Disability Resource Center, and they could also contact me, and we could work together to meet your needs this semester. Happy to do that, and just get in touch with me about that. Shoot me an email, and look forward to hearing from you. We also have communication centers, which have now been all moved to Building C on all the campuses. So, but this has changed because of COVID. So now it's kind of all online. These centers for academic success, right? Make sure to reach out to them and get online tutoring, virtual tutoring if you can. Take advantage of that because this is part of your tuition that you pay for at the school. So we have all kinds of tutoring, all kinds of labs that you could take advantage of. Also, library workshops. Make sure to use our library website. We'll be talking about the library, particularly the online library, during the semester. And so take advantage of these resources. Again, it's part of what you're paying for with your tuition. Student success coaching, advising. Yes, make sure that you're taking the courses that allow you to graduate in a timely manner, that you complete, get your AA degree or your AS degree, and then transfer to a four-year institution, and that you're succeeding on that front. This is the refund policy, and make sure that if you aren't attending the class that you drop it so you don't end up with an F or a bill. So make sure to do that if you're not taking the class. It's okay. You can take it when you have more time. This is where I used to have people sign and date that they read the syllabus. No problem. We're in the online setting. Just want to make sure that you have read it. So it's more for yourself and that we're all on the same page. I know this has been a long video. I hope it's been helpful for you. If you have any questions about anything that I've covered here, go ahead and ask them in the Common Course questions. If I don't get to it or you need more detail, you can reach out to me during my office hours or via email. So it's going to be a great semester. Thank you all so much. Thank you for listening to the syllabus video, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.